ask you to tell us a little bit about how you're using some social media, newer data sources, tools, and techniques to communicate with the public.
Sure. We do kind of two things. We do use the HERE probe speed data for internal awareness, right? We look at what the speeds are in the evacuation routes, and we provide that same information on our 511 as well. Our speed map on our traveler information website shows that red, green, yellow. But really beyond that, we believe that people using their GPS, using Waze, or Google Maps, or those things that they're going to use, is a wonderful tool. There are so many good routes away from our coastline that if we let people use things like Waze and Google Maps, those engines automatically look for best travel time. So really, we can let those tools help us do our job, and they can distribute people and say, hey, maybe you want to take a 4-lane NC route further than you normally would, so that we can better balance the load.
So what do you think? I'd like you to think a little bit about and we had some conversations the other day about this. What do you think is unique in your state with respect to use of data and technology? What are you particularly proud of as far as your accomplishments in being able to harness data technology for planning for hurricanes?
But we think about our facilities, and we've been using some more spatial analysis tools in the Esri suite to think about layering some information from different places, right? So we have 4 big evacuation zones that we typically think about, A through D, A being closest to the coast. So then I had our GIS analyst and emergency planner look at where VDOT physically has locations and layer those locations, those points over top of the evacuation zones on a map. And then thinking about the types of equipment we have at those locations, particularly things that maybe serve more than one location, right? You may have like a crane, and I have one of those, only several of those in the whole state. So if that's parked in one of those locations, and as we get the storm surge data, as the National Weather Service publishes that, we'll layer that on as well. But if I know I have a particular piece of equipment in a vulnerable location, we'll try to move it away from the storm, the potential impacts. And then we can do the same thing with personnel.
So as I stated at the beginning of our webinar, the frequency of hurricanes, especially this year, and we see that happening more in the future with potentially 2 hurricanes hitting at the same time at one state location. How does that affect your resource availability and the way you're using your tools, or improving or changing communication to get ready for more hurricanes at the same time?
I think for us, it's personnel, being able to shift that. What do those resources look like? Pulling people from the northern part of the state down to the southern part if we have to, because we understand the importance of making sure the roads are open and they're safe. Was it bridge inspection crews, things of that nature, because of the importance of being able to move people, goods, and services after an event like that. So if you're facing another one coming, we may need to reallocate some of the people from the north to the south, and vice versa during a snow or ice event that we have the possibility of having to the north.